बादल पृथ्वी के निकट आकर बरसते हैं, पंडित जैसे विद्या को पाकर नम्र हो जाते हैं। बूढ़े वृक्ष पशु आदि सब सहते हैं, परंतु उनसे अधिक नहीं सह जाते। पर्वत अनाय
राम नाम सत्य है. May we all stand, my dear friends. So today we have all gathered to pay. Stand right here. Face the box. Take a flower each. So we have all gathered to pay a final tribute to one who was with us, stayed with us for numbers of years, has been part of our family, part of our country, part of our community, part of a family as well, married family, I mean in that sense. It's only fitting for us to send him off in the most honorable, civilized manner to the divine. Everything in the cosmos is controlled by the divinity. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Hari Om Shantakaram Bhujagashainam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagane Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalarnainam Yogi Birdhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhava Bhayaharam Sarvalokai Karnatham. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Ram Naam Satya hai, sab ka yehi gat hai. Please be seated. Thank you. The flowers at the feet. Give it, take now. Hold it. Touch it. Put some drop of water. Hold this. I'll tell you what to do with it. So like everything else, we have to register this thing in the cosmos. So we're going to say, you're going to say it after me, what I'm going to say here. It's really saying here that I am so and so, have come here to perform the rites of my brother, whose name is, and you're going to take the name as well. And dear Lord, may you give him moksha or liberation. So say it after me, both of you. Om Vishnu 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 Adhya Sri Brahmane Dvitiye Parardhe Sri Shwet Vadaha Kalpi Vaivashvat Manvantare Ashtavin Shatitame Kali Yuge Kali Pratham Charane Trinidad Deshe Gwaiko Grame Adyavart Antargata Brahmavet Kadeshe Punya क्षेत्रे बौद्धा वतारे वर्तमान यथानाम संवत्सरे उत्तर आईने आषाढ़ मासे कृष्ण पक्षे त्रयोदशी तिथौ गुरु वासरे कृतिका नक्षत्रे सुकर्म योग विष्टि करने वृषभ राशि स्थिते सूर्य वृषभ राशि स्थिते शशांके शेषेषु ग्रहेषु यथा यथा राशि स्थानेस्तेषु. Now take your names. Now say. Right. Now say Yajmanasya. Say Yajmanasya. Kashyap. Gotrasya. Mitra. Pretasya. Anteshti. Karmaha. Aham. Karishye. Om. Krishna. Arpan. Touch it to the forehead. Place it at the feet. Yes. Very well. Some water. Take some water and sprinkle on the entire coffin. Om Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitra Pretasya Mritasthane Nam Nimit Sthanam Mayadiyate Tavu Pratishtatam, and sprinkle on the pictures as well. Right. Give him the chandan. Right. Very well. Okay, Laksh. So I want you to put the chandan, go down this way. No. Dip your finger on it. Yeah. Come down this way. Oh yeah. Chandanam, put one, no, right here. Put where he is. Yes, next side. On the neck. Right. Son, you want to do it too? Go. Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitra Pretasya Mitasthane Nam Nimit Chandanam Mayadiyate Tavo Pratishtatam. And leave it in the box. Essence. Spread the entire. Spread the box and entire. Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitra Pretasya Gandham Mayadiyate. Spread the entire. Gandham Mayadiyate Tavo Pratishtatam. Very well. So you have the malas. Mitra Pretasya Pushpamal Mayadiyate. Beautiful. Well done. That's what we're talking about. Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitra Pretasya Mitasthane Nam Nimit Pushpamal Mayadiyate Tavo Pratishtatam. Right. So weave it over the box. Weave it over. I'll tell you when to stop. Yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasadvite tatalu kamarthaya deepoyam. Now, Lakshmi, walk around the box now. Wave the light as you walk around. Wave it, yes, beautiful. Yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasadvite tatalu kamarthaya deepoyam upatishtatama. Adhya, take your time, but you get tripped in. You know? Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitasthane Nam Nimit Mitra Pretasya Deepam Mayadiyate Tavo Pratishtatam. Yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasadvite tatpalokamarthaya deepoyam upatishtatama. Second, right, good. Yam dware mahaghore. You good? Yes. Right. Deep in there. Fish. I think this. Can I say this? Adhya Kashyap Gotrasya Mitra Pretasya Mitra Sanushyam Nanumit Ishati Pindu Maya Diyate. Maya Diyate Tavu Pratishtatam. Tilanjali Maya Diyate Tavu Pratishtatam. Go ahead. That's what we're talking about. So at this point in time, I just want to invite the very immediate family to come if they wish to put a flower and make a little arati. So the wife, firstly, the daughter, there's a brother or a sister or somebody, they can come as well. Son, you can also do too. Bring the arati, put up from it, arati to that. Yes, yes. Yeah, but give him a flower. So don't make arti for that, yeah. Then pass it for your mom, sure. Put the flower in the sink. Put the flower firstly. Pull. Yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasadvite tattalokamarthaya deepoyam upatishtatama. The daughter is here. Give her. Go ahead. Pushpamal maya diyate tavo pratishtatam. Yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasadvite tattalokamarthaya deepoyam upatishtatama. Do you have anybody else? Immediate family I'm talking about. Mommy will just probably put a flower. Right. So while that is happening, probably you'll sing a bhajan. If you know this bhajan, I want you to sing with me. Jai Krishna Hare, Jai Krishna Hare. Yeah, let her come on this side. Jai Krishna Hare, Sri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ke दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. Everyone, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों के दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो. और कोई न खेवन हारा हो, और कोई न खेवन हारा हो, तब तू ही बेड़ा पार करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों के दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे. तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। राम नाम Satya. Satya means the truth. So what we are looking in front of us here is the truth of life. How many of you are prepared for that truth? There's a nice prayer that the Hindus have. I don't know for other people. I just give you the translation. Probably another day I'll give you the actual mantras of it. It says, Dear Lord, that can you grant me a very painless death, free from any kinds of challenges, O Lord, when I'm about to leave this earthly plane. The second aspect of that prayer to ask, Lord, that as I live my life, I must not become dependent on anybody or beg for somebody's help or assistance in some way, Lord. Make me a very independent human being as I live this life. In the first prayer, I just want to extend one aspect of it. Death itself is a painful thing. Death itself is a painful thing when the life force have to eject the body. So, you don't want to add pain. You're 20 years lying on a bed and you are suffering. Lord, I don't want that. I wish my death can be immediate, instantaneous. I don't mean that somebody will come and snatch your life away. I don't mean that. But people do that in this country and all over the world. It must only happen by the hands of the Maker. And you must pray for that. And the third one, Lord, that as I live this life, may my memory, my life, always remember you, Father. Everywhere I go and walk this earth, my mind must be remembering you. No matter what profession, what position I find myself in life, Lord, may my mind always remember you. When I'm ejecting the body, may you standing there waiting to receive me. That prayer you must say it every day. In the morning when you get up, having brushed your teeth, before you drink your cup of coffee, and before you sleep away in the night. Because you do not know what will happen after those hours. Isn't that so? That can strike at any moment. Any moment. And we always wish that only the Master alone will take us and nobody else. That you must pray for. Not an automatic process. Got to say it until it processes itself. And somebody out there listens to us. Ram Nam, Satya. Satya means the truth. So this here, I've said that is in front of us is the truth of life. Of course, it can become very simpler if you have lived a very honorable life. A life in the way that the Divine Father wants us to live. Then that is no problem. Also, we will go honorably as well. Yes? Easily said. But we have to live that kind of life for the Master to grant us a very smooth transition from the physical world into the world of the divine. There's a beautiful verse taken from our scriptures that says, Jata sahi dhruvo mrityo dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad pariharyirthe natvamsho chitumarhasi. That anything that has been created in the world, the end of that must come, has to come. I want you all to understand that. Anything that has been created by the Maker or even by your own selves, the end of that will come. Some may take a longer time, some may take a shorter time, but the end must come. You're working in a government department, you're not there for all times. You're a teacher, you're not there for all times. Whatever profession you find yourselves in, don't hold on to an office that you feel it belongs to you for the rest of your life. You'll even drop your own body. That doesn't even belong to you either. Na kucha tera, na kucha mira. Yes? So B for birth and D for death. What letter comes between B and C? B and D? I said the answer for you, right? What letter comes between B and D? C. So you're going to born and death is going to come. So between the B and the D, that is where your life is going to be. That is where you have C for control. How do you control your life so that your ending moment will be most honorable? How do you live the life? That the people of the earth would love you, your parents would love you, your friends would love you, and the God eventually has no choice but also love you too. Control such a manner. And you could put all kinds of expressions in that control, but you understand what I'm talking about. So this life is not for all the time. We are here for a purpose. Find your purpose. Why have you been born on this earth? All of us said we did not choose Trinidad and Tobago. We didn't choose to be here. We didn't choose our mommy, and we didn't choose our daddy. Neither did they choose us either. So somebody in the beginning of time, our time, must have made the decision to put us in a particular locality. At the ending moment, that same divinity will come back and act again to make a decision into the next dimension of your life. So the Master is in control. Yes? For those who have lived their lives according to the will of the divine, through your faith, whatever faith that you belong to, through your faith with that divinity, bless your soul, bless with compassion. Today, of course, we are just going to dispose of the remains of our dear friend, dear brother, dear son, Mitra. But Mitra continues to live. Are you aware of that? Yes? The thing that ejected the body, the only thing on planet Earth, is not subjected to birth and death. The thing that ejects the body is not subjected to birth and death. It continues to live. And because it continues to live, as Hindus in particular, we do particular rites and rituals to help it traverse or travel into the next dimension. So that's why you'll notice we also have a 10-day, 13-day rites, and even a rites up to 1 year, to give it the chance to become a part and parcel of the Maker. Let the Maker make the final decision. We do the rites, the Maker makes the final decision. Let's praise the Lord. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patit Pavan Sita Ram. Everyone. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patit Pavan Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Bhajuman Pyare Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Bhajuman Pyare Sita Ram. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम हो पतित पावन सीताराम. राम नाम सत्य है. Satya means the truth. And I'm saying that not only the death is the truth, but your life also has truths in it as well. As a human being, you need to see it. You need to observe it. To be part of it. That's part of your purpose. As a human being, other scriptures would have said we are made in the image and the likeness of the Maker. That must happen. You must be able to see this thing before you exit planet Earth. And having seen it, your whole life will change. More glorious life. A life that is filled with tremendous divinity and love for the world, love for people, love for understanding of the things that are around you. It's a great blessing. Money is not everything. And that's true. House is not everything. Wealth is not everything. That will leave you, that will drop you, that will just drop off. Your body even will drop off too, I tell you. What would you carry to the next dimension? What do you have to carry in the next dimension, my dear friends? I want to tell you something. All the action that you have committed in your lives is not burnt at the moment of death. It's not buried in the ground either. So it's like your phone, you know. If you delete the messages in your phone, where does it go? Tell my dear sister. You tell me, somebody there. When you delete your messages, where does it go? They say, what? In the bin somewhere. Cyberspace. So it means it goes somewhere, it is there. And somebody who's very smart, in the technology, can pull it back and read our business. Is that true? Yes or no? Yes? And is that what the American does all the time? There's no where I am, you know where you are. Everybody, where they are. Technologies. So your business doesn't go anywhere. Somebody always know your business. In other words, I'm just saying, it just doesn't die. It doesn't go away into some space. So too is your actions that you have committed in life. If your actions are more of a positive nature, then positive things will happen to you even in your next dimension. Now is the best time to invest in that which is always positive. And you know what I'm talking about. Invest in those things that will become a very positive life for you. Become a person where somebody will continue to respect you and honor you and trust you. A human being must have a trusting kind of relationship with others. That is part of your purpose. Is that right? Yes or no? Yes? Otherwise, what kind of life are you really living when death will surely come? Death will surely come, just as how the night will change into day. There's no two ways about that. So the mechanics of death is that the master is in charge, the God is in charge. You can call it what? Somebody is in charge. So let us be loving, let us be kind, let us be humble, let us be God-fearing, let us become supportive, let us become creative. Let's build a life that others can also enjoy too. And people will thank you for giving an easy access to a better life. Ram Nam, Satya hai sabka yehi gat hai. So at this point in time, I want to ask of the daughter to give the eulogy. What's your name again? Glenda. Oh, Glenda was first time. Glenda, I'm very happy that Mitra has a daughter, Glenda, and has a son. What's the name of your son? Nikolai and Glenda. So I hope both of you continue to communicate, right? Because you all are the direct, what you call, lineage of your dad. Right? Is that so? Direct lineage of your dad. So whenever somebody see both of you, say, see those people going there? That is Mitra's daughter, you know. That is Mitra's son. Not so? Live such a life that you continue to bring glory to your dad even in his afterlife. Yes? So welcome, Glenda. So, yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, let me thank you for being here today for the celebration of the life of Mitra Narine. I am Mitra's stepdaughter, but in our family, we never made those distinctions. To him, I was his daughter, and to me, he was my little father. Before we get into the eulogy, I would like to take a moment for us to acknowledge the presence of Mitra's mom, Samdim Narine, being with us here today. Thank you, Aji, for bringing Mitra into this world. The many ways in which Mitra touched others with kindness is directly correlated and attributed to you, Aji. Mitra was an extension of your welcoming and giving nature. Aji, we love you, and we stand with you in this time. Everyone here who's present, everyone who can't be here, everyone who's in a different dimension, we are all here supporting you and loving you, and I want you to feel that. So I'm going to start off with a few words from Lakshmi. Lakshmi Narine, that's Mitra's brother, who's right here. Hi, Uncle Lach. So these are his words. Mitra Narine was born 66 years ago, the third of 4 children of Keso and Samdi Narine. He was born in Sangre Grande and lived most of his life in the Grande area. He went to Miss Young's preschool. Mitra was always curious, which sometimes got him into mischief. One story in our family was how while at Miss Young's school, he broke a broom. He walked back home all on his own and attempted to repair it. Or the story of when he was a bit older. We'd gotten a new fan and he wanted to know what would happen if you put a stick in the blade while it was operating. Mitra and I, meaning Lakshmi, both got licks for that little experiment. Another time, Mitra and my brother Krishna were curious about a new knife my father had acquired, and somehow Mitra ended up with a big cut above his eye. For those who knew him well would know the scar those stitches left. Mitra graduated from Northeastern College and went on to a job at the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. He dressed nicely in a nicely pressed shirt and pants as he had a desk job. In those times, one had to dress for the role. My mother was so proud of Mitra as he looked well on his way to becoming a rising bureaucrat, or at least that's what she'd hoped. Mitra, however, was not fond of being cooped up in an office, wearing a white shirt and pressed pants and pushing people. He loved the outdoors in all its forms, whether it was his land or the beaches where he spent time with his friends and family, enjoying the usual beach lime activities, in particular, the cook-up. Mitra got a transfer to the forestry division at the Ministry of Agriculture. To be in forestry, he had to study for 2 years at the Eastern Caribbean Institute of Agriculture and Forestry, popularly known as ECAF. Mitra enjoyed his time there. The course and instructors were challenging. He loved ECAF and the diversity of people he met because it brought together aspiring agricultural and forestry professionals from across Trinidad and Tobago and from places beyond our shores. It was at ECAF that Mitra acquired the nickname of the Count because he looked like the Count character on Sesame Street. You know, those pointy ears and pointy nose. Sometime later, Mitra acquired a second nickname, Michipu. Many of you here would know him affectionately by that name. Mitra's love of the outdoors led to his career in forestry. Upon retirement, Mitra exited the public service at the rank of Acting Forester 3. Mitra also loved his agricultural land, where he cultivated cocoa, citrus, banana, and even honeybees. And as some of you may know, the Raguba family has a long heritage in beekeeping, so that is part of, yeah. Michipu was influenced by that. Okay, let me find my space. Okay. He lovingly cared for his estate during his working years and well into retirement. Mitra other loves were his family and his cause. He was devoted to his son Nikolai and his stepdaughter Glenda. I only learned from Glenda that Mitra helped her to recruit subjects for her PhD dissertation. Basically, he served as her research assistant. Imagine that, Michipu in the role of an academic research assistant, and it is very true. I sampled in Grandy, and I would say, okay, these are the demographics I need, and he would go find people and connect me. And I also had a sample in Digger Martin, and I have to tell you something. Nobody in town don't offer you no water, don't offer you no food, don't offer you no nothing. But every time I had an interview to do in Grandy, rest assured, water, drinks, curry, wild meat, all kind of things. So there's a certain hospitality in this community that I just want to point out, and Mitra facilitated that for me, and I wouldn't have my PhD if it weren't for Mitra, if he wasn't my research assistant. Okay, moving over to Nikolai. Mitra loved fireworks and instilled that love in his son Nikolai. Every Diwali, it was their tradition to buy and bust fireworks together. Mitra was very proud when Nick graduated from the University of the West Indies and then went on to further studies. Mitra's other love was his cars. He had a few major cars in his life. One was a Toyota Corolla that he'd owned for many, many years, which he affectionately called Betsy. Mitra trusted my wife Ambika, not me, to drive Betsy, right, Lutch? So he trusted Ambika to drive Betsy to get us around when we visited Trinidad. When Betsy's time sadly came to an end, the Bora entered his life. He loved Bora too, but I think he always missed Betsy. He would always say the Bora was up for sale, but every time he got an offer for the car, he would refuse. I think when all was said, he thought no money in the world could compensate for the loss of the Bora. And I'm just gonna kind of add my own twist here. I think nothing in the world can compensate for the loss of Mitra. Okay, moving along, there are a few words that my uncle, Suresh Raghuba, he couldn't be here today because he's in the States. And so that's Mitra's brother-in-law, so he sent a few words. I knew Mitra since he had a Ford Corsair motorcar, then a Mazda RX-2 motorcar in 1993. 73. Whoops, 1973. That RX-2 made him famous in Sangre Grande. It was white and had big mag wheels. I remember accompanying Bina and Mitra to Caracas to shop for my sister Sita's wedding dress. Mitra was impressed by the way I knew the city of Caracas. I introduced him to the Caracas subway, and I took him to see the nightlife. He was amazed. We had some good times. Sometimes we would hang out in Sangre Grande on weekends, going to pubs, and we carried on constructive conversation. As the British would say, he was a good lad. Rest in peace, Mitch. Okay, we also have a few words from Janelle Maharaj, which is Mitra's niece, and their mom is Indra. So Indra was Mitra's sister. So Janelle couldn't be here with us today, but Javan is representing. Thanks for coming all the way to represent. Okay, so these are a few thoughts from Janelle. When sitting back and reflecting on what I should say, many things come to mind about my Uncle Michipu. To me, he was always the chill uncle who never really fussed about things too much and loved nature. I always knew that when I came to Trinidad, I could depend on him to pick me up in Betsy and take me wherever I needed to go. He would always tell me, just let me know the time and place, I'll be there. Many of my fondest memories of him are the times when he would say, "Gee, grab your things, we're going for a drive." Most times we would end up going to the beach, but other times he would drive me to the most random places, all while giving me the history of each town we drove through. I also appreciate how Uncle Mitch always helped us stay connected to our culture. As a little girl, I remember he would always send my mom tapes of the latest soca so we could keep up with the music. Whenever we visited Trinidad, he would introduce me to many foods like doubles, salt prunes, pomerac, and chenet. Inside joke. If I were to choose a favorite memory of Uncle Mitra, it would be the summer just before we moved from Calgary to Toronto. Javan and I spent the majority of our summer break in Trinidad that year. Almost every day we could count on Uncle Michipu to pick us up after work. He would let Javan, Glenda, and me sit in the back of the yellow van calling out "Oi!" to all the random strangers we drove past. You remember that? I was terrified of being in the back of that train, can I tell you, of the yellow van. We thought this was so much fun. When we got to Manzanilla, he would let us take a little dip or dig for chip, and then he would head back home where a delicious warm meal that Nanny had made would be waiting for us. We know you have a serious sweetheart in Nanny, so yeah. I would like to end off by saying, even though Uncle Mitra is gone, he will always be with us. When I think of what he's doing now, I would like to think that he has reunited with his father Keso and siblings Indra and Krishna, and that he is cruising along in his beloved Betsy. Rest in peace, Uncle Mitra. We love you. Okay. Next, we have a few words from Javan. Jeff, you want to read this or you want me to read it?
I'll let you.
Okay. happy to do that, cause it has a fantastic start. Okay, so as the only and by default favorite nephew of Mitra Narine, I had the privilege of growing up and experiencing three very different sides of a man who tried his best to appear aloof. As a child, he was the uncle who would encourage our mischief and indulge us in our silly stories. I learned at an early age that he did not sleep. He just rested his eyes a lot. I was also very young when I learned that he struggled with a horrible addiction to Vicks Vapor Rub. When Auntie Vina and Uncle Mitra visited us in Calgary, I was very young and a lot of the details have faded, but I will always remember the attachment my sister Janelle and I developed for them during that time. I grew up learning about all of his mishaps and challenges as a young adult. The fan, the smoking, the sports car. You would think I would have learned to avoid some of these mistakes. Unfortunately, it was merely a blueprint for me to follow. All right, I just reading. As I grew up and became more opinionated, rebellious, and troublesome, he was the uncle who never tried to talk me out of anything. He wouldn't give advice. He would just listen, ask questions, and never hesitated to tell me when I was wrong. People thought that when we were together, we were up to no good. But I will simply remember the times when he would throw me the keys to his car and tell me, just drive. We would wander aimlessly for hours, talking about anything we could think of. He would always talk about Nick and Glenda, and I'm certain everyone here is aware of the adoration he has for his kids and what he wanted for them. Mitra was the first of my relatives who treated me as an adult. He held me accountable when necessary, but also made me feel as though he was hearing me not as a nephew, but as a person with opinions of value. We rarely agreed, but we never crossed each other. He had some special nicknames for me, but they are not appropriate to share at this time. So all you could ask Jovan about that. I don't know anything about that, so yeah. I am certain there are huge parts of this story that I have missed, and I am sure that other things will come back to us over the next few weeks. I wanted to share my most immediate memories and highlight the things that may not be obvious but are meaningful to me. So while we all grieve the loss of a friend, son, husband, father, and uncle, we should take comfort in knowing that if you were connected to him, he may not have said it loud often, but he cared deeply for everyone around him. Next, we have some words from Javan's wife, Nichelle. Uncle Michipu, as I so lovingly referred to him, should sum up how we felt about him. Although he may have been a man of little words, his actions showed his loving, caring nature and his affinity to ensure his family was always taken care of. Thank you for the love, the memories, and most of all, for being an amazing person. We will continue to honor your memory through showing the same kind of love and tenderness you showed all of us. We love you until we meet again. Okay. So now these are just a few words from me. The last time I spoke to Mitra, it was to tell him that I had brought him the 2 newest 2023 issues of National Geographic, his favorite magazine, and to ask him if the lookout tower up at Mount St. Benedict was for fire patrol. All right, so I know we have a forestry posse in here. So that tower up there in Mount St. Benedict, is that for fire patrol? Or no? Is a fire tower? I think so. Well, let me know if it is not a fire tower. My friend had invited me for a hike up to Mount Tabor, so that's how I managed to see the tower. Mount Tabor was enchanting with all its tall pines against the backdrop of the northern range. I took a few minutes to sit amidst the pines at Mount Tabor. In the quiet of majestic pine, I felt grounded, safe, and held by the earth. This place was special. To my surprise, Mitra told me that he had planted some of the pine trees there along with his forestry partners. Now that Mitra is gone, I understand why Mount Tabor felt familiar. Mitra is in the land. He is in the swaying trees and the rustling leaves. When I miss you, I will listen for the quiet, whistling trees. I will listen. Okay. And the last but not least, a few words from Nikolai. Read it for you? All right. It's short and sweet. Just like how his father was kind of like a quiet guy, this one also quiet. So, our family has a peculiar practice. We sometimes call our parents by their first names. No disrespect. And this is true, right, Bina? Bina, Bini, Binipu, Mitra, Michipu, Tra. Tra was my special name for him. Tra, I'll always miss you. Okay. So we just have a few words of final thanks. The family wishes to thank each and every one of you for being here to celebrate the life of Mitra Narine. Your love and support has made the passing of Mitra easier to bear. Your loving kindness is precious and will be remembered. May that spirit of care and concern continue to grow in our hearts and manifest in our lives. A very special thanks to Pandit Tawari and his son for performing the Hindu funeral rites to ensure Mitra's safe passage. To all the families, Mitra's friends, forestry colleagues, and acquaintances, we thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. And before I close off, I just want to mention that you might see some little pines, some little pines here, and some of Mitra's friends from forestry, they brought that this morning so we could have that, feel that presence of the land, of the earth, of what he loved. So thank you very much, Mr. Carl and others, whom maybe I don't know your names, for doing that for us. All right, I'm just going to close off with a dedication of merit. Through our good acts, pure speech, and clear intentions, may all mental defilements be overcome. May all living beings be liberated from the oceans of samsara, stirred by the waves of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Thank you.
And there you have it, my dear friends, the times of Mitra. And you could have heard as well some of the contributions he made to our land, planting of the trees all over our country, wherever he had gone, and bringing some measure of joy to family and to people who he came into contact with. And so those are some of our purposes in our lives. You have come to do something, and do something positively that others will enjoy and probably remember you too. And thank God for a son, for a person like you, having passed through this land, this earth. Yes? Ram Nam Sach Hai. So there's a nice bhajan in your pamphlet there. You can probably open your pamphlet. We will sing that one before we. Ek din hame bhi jana hai. So those who know of it, I want you to sing with me. Ek din hame bhi jana hai. I just give you the translation. It's all in Hindi, but I'll give you the translation. Ek din hame means that one day will come when we too will have to leave this body, leave this earth, depart from this world. Ek din, one day. And this is so for every single living thing upon this earth. Everything upon this earth will be subjected to that rule I've said. So really, where is really a permanent place for us? Where is really the permanent place? Only at the feet of the divine. You know, the waters from the mountain, they don't stay one place. They continue to trickle down the mountain. Where do you think they are heading? The waters. They're heading to the ocean. Isn't that so? Sometimes they get trapped in dry weather. Can't go anywhere. But thank God rain will fall. I will continue to wet the earth and take those particles eventually to the ocean. And having arrived at the ocean, you cannot say, sir, this water here was the mountain water and this is the sea water. There is no distinction when the waters of the earth meet the waters of the ocean. That is who we are. We are all little rivers, little streams, heading to the big stream. Some of us going faster than others. Some of us taking some time. Obstacles are in the way. And that is why it is so important as you live your life, you seek the continued blessings of the God to continue to clear away all those impediments that have come in your life. Nobody wants to be entrapped. And then death will come and then you didn't get the chance to say, thank you, Lord. So the bhajan says, one day we'll all have to leave this earth. Having enjoyed all the finest pleasures as Mitra did with his friends and family, and caught up sometimes in this drama of life. We get so caught up, we feel that this is the life. This drama of life. It looks so real. It's like a mirage. This will look so real. Having arrived at the point of the mirage, you realize, well, I thought it was water I'm seeing on the road. Not recognizing it's just a reflection of the sun. Therefore, this is only for a short while, this mirage. Therefore, it is said here, Fir nahi ana. Therefore, we should take our time in this world and continue to give honor and worship the Divine Father, for we may never pass this way again. No. He will make the decision. So therefore, kauri kauri karke jori, do not grieve and become dejected, wasting your time filling your life with the treasury of physical wealth. That you will have to leave it, whether you love it, whether you don't. It will not be able to accompany you, no one and no thing. Physical otherwise will ever accompany you when the time has to go. The very body of yours, of course, will be dropped off as well, leaving everything else behind. So the only thing that will accompany you is, what did I say before? Ola, help me repeat that. What's going to accompany you at the moment of departure? Help me. All the things that you have done in your life. The things you have your intention, what you thought about doing. Your actions, we call it in the Hindu traditions, we call it your karmas. It just doesn't wipe away. It goes with you to form the next criteria. You remember, last year about 9,000 students didn't pass the SEA exam. Isn't that so? Yes? What did the government say? Said you have to go back to school, Go back to the primary school. Go to school in August. We never have gone to school in August. August was a very fun time for us. And study over the lesson. And rewrite the SEA exam. Hopefully that this year we get a better result. If you don't make the grade in life, my dear friends, if your actions did not support you to become liberated, you will have to come back and fix that life of yours before you get complete liberation at the feet of the Divine. Yes? Ram Naam Satya Hai. See, if you notice bhajan, we'll all sing it before we come to a conclusion. एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाते हैं सारा इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, खूब मौज कर देख तमाशा, खूब मौज कर देख तमाशा, खेलन खेनो खेल कर की है सो कर ले बंदे, फिर नहीं आना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, कौरी कौरी करके जोरी, कौरी कौरी करके जोरी, भरा खजाना है, संगन जाए उसकी साथी, फिर पछताना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जग चला जाते हैं सारा इसका कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन, one more time, एक दिन हमें भी जाना nahi. Ram Nam. I remember there's a doctor. I always see on his laptop he have this big bundle of fire, like a like a cremation fire. So I said, Doc, why you always have, when you open your laptop, this thing appears in front of you. He says, sir, I want to tell you, I know that's my end. I want to be reminded of all the skills I have. I want to be reminded that's my final end. What reminds you of your end? I hope every day you think about it. You think about when the day will come. But of course, if you have lived a very wonderful life, it doesn't bother really. It doesn't matter. The end will come anyhow, in the glorious way, in the divine would have given it to you. Ram Nam Satya Hai. So I know I want you to come and have a what they call a view of what we have here. But before I do so, there are a few other things that we have to do for Mitra before we ask of you to come and view. Well, of course, we just have the picture. We cannot view the body. We are not given the opportunity to view the body, right? Things happen in it. That's why I said before. Ask God to give you a very painless death. Don't suffer to die. And Lord, I want to be so free and independent. I don't have to depend on somebody to take care of me before I die, Father. And finally, as I live my life, Lord, I always want to remember you, knowing fully one day that there is where I have to go. Yes? Ram Nam Satya Hai. So let me just do a few more ritualistic things, and then I'll ask of you to come. So let me come. So, Kasha. The time is coming close to enter the oven there, so just a few things we need to get done. You may want to try to figure out what are we really doing here with all these rites and rituals. You can't see it with your naked eye, but when somebody's have passed on, when the thing has to move, there are certain forces that go with it all the time, right? And we Hindus have recognized that does happen, and therefore we do those things to help it ease itself in the next dimension. Right. Very good. Om Adhyam Kashyap Gotrasya Dvardash Pantanam Namit Ishade Bindu Mayadiyate Daho. Surya Chakshur Gachadu Vatam Atmadam Chakrivat Gachadi Tatra Aushadishu Utishay Panchitata Shanti Mukatishita Panchitata Shanti Mukatishita. Those of you and Hindus, you remember we do this thing on the outside, not so? We are not on the outside, we have to find a place to do it. Hari Om Adhyaya Kashyap Gotrasya. Chatvari Bidram Namit Ishadim Bindu Maya Diyate Tavo Pratishtita. Om Surya Chakri Gachru Vatam Atmaram Chakri Apo Gachru Aushadishu Panchatattva Shanti Upadishtita Panchatattva Shanti. No one has started. Om Adya Kashabundasya Mitra Pritasya Visam Bhutanam Eshade Bindu Maya Diyate Tavopatishita. Sangvari Mahapuri and Yena Namasati Yatulu Kamarmaya Final one. Om Adya Kashapudrasya Mitra Pritasya Samhastak Sarat Namana Ishade Bindu Maya Diyate.
Yeah. Recording. That's it. Gimana bicara? Sudah nih.
So I know you don't see the thing that emerges from the body. Of course, in Mitra case, I don't think you could have seen that. But in a normal death, if you look very carefully, you can see where the person passed out. Either through the eyes, or the mouth, or the air, or the lips. We have to look very carefully to see that. The body is defined as a nine-gated city. The body is a nine-gated city. It has 9 doors, nine opening, 5 on top and 4 below. Of course, the highest one is on top of your head. When a baby is born, you mothers will know it much more than the fathers. When you're bathing the baby, you'll see something beating on top of the head like that. You ever see that? A baby's head? You're bathing the baby, something beating like that? Have you ever seen that, mothers? No? That's the thinnest part of the skull. It always remains very thin. That's why we always leave a tuft of hair as Hindus. We leave a tuft of hair to protect that spot. If you get a blow on that spot, you can instantly go. So we protect it all the time. This has nothing to do with religion. This is what the body is made out of. And the Hindus have recognized it. And we always protect that spot. If somebody should emerge from that spot, it's the best place to go, to come out to meet your maker. Some rituals to give Mitra the best in the next dimension. The Father, the God will decide after. Right, so we got it, yeah? Yeah? Okay. Right? So maybe you all stand, my dear friends. I want to end with a bhajan that says, O Divine Father, you alone have been the master and the support of our lives, O Lord. You are the protector of those who have no support as well. You are always in every way the giver of happiness. You are the destroyer of pain and vices, O Father. So much compassion you possess in your heart, O Lord. Sometimes we do not even see it because we are so taken up with all kinds of worldly matter. Sometimes we forget you, Father, but you have not forgotten us in any way. Thank you for being with us. We pray. Pituma tu saha yak swami sakha. These are my flowers. Pituma tu saha yak swami sakha tumhi ekhanat तहमारे हो जिनकी कछु और आधार नहीं, जिनकी कछु और आधार नहीं, तिनके तुम ही रखवारे हो। पितु मातु सहा यक स्वामी सखा, तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो, तुम ही एक नाथ हमारे हो। राम नाम। The flowers at the feet, take up fresh flowers in their hands. My dear friends, I want to ask you now if there's in any way that Mitra would have said something that made you uncomfortable in your life. I want to ask of you to forgive him. Whether through words or deeds, somewhere you probably felt uncomfortable in his company, please forgive him. And if of course any of you have done anything to him, I ask him through God also to forgive you too. Is that right? Forgive and what's the word? Forget. Allow the guy to move on freely to his next destination. We pray again. Hari Om. Some water. अनादिनी धनो देव शंख चक्र गदाधर अक्षय पुंडरीकाक्ष प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव कृष्ण कृष्ण कृपालो त्वं गतिनां गतिर्भव संसारमग्नानां प्रसिद्ध पुरुषोत्तमः। ओम तत्सत्प्रेत आत्मशांति, ओम तत्सत्प्रेत आत्मशांति, तत्सत्प्रेत आत्मशांति, शांतिरेव शांति श्यामा शांतिरिधि। राम नाम सत्य है, सबका यही गत है। प्लीज प्लेस द फ्लावर्स अगेन। Nicely done. Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi and your nephew. You have done very well this afternoon. So, my dear friends, I know some of you didn't get a chance to probably just come and view or say a prayer for him. I give you a chance now before we go into the oven there, right? So you can come in one direction. You have lots of flowers. You can place it in the little box we have on top of the coffin and exit into another direction. Thank you so much. So feel free to come because we don't have all evening. The oven is waiting there for us to enter. So take a flower and you can place it in the box. Come in one direction, yes. Somebody hold the box, the parcel of flowers there. No, just for the flowers. Glenda. I see there's something. All right, so Lakshmi, just come back. You and the son. Where's the son? Take it back. You can pick up all the flowers and put them. We won't burn the flowers. No. No. Yeah, just the flowers. Just the flowers. Yeah. Only malas. So this is running water. Let it result. Okay, my friends, so there you have it. Let's give a stand again. Let's all stand finally as we going to head inside into the room. Whatever prayer you have for him, I want you put your hands together and utter your own prayer as we continue to seek the blessings of the Divine Father. Hari Om Anadini Dhano Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadhara Akshay Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Pradubhava Om Yang Brahma Barurendra Rudra Maruta Stanvanti Divaistavar Viray Sangipat Kramu Panishadair Gayantiam Samagaha Dhyana Vastir Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yashyantam Navidu Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Ram Naam Satya hai, sabka yehi kata hai. Thank you. Just remain standing as we, yes. Yes. I know all of you probably cannot enter the little room there, but probably you can all stand in some way to see.
सुधा मध्याभ्यास सुधा वेदसे सुधा वायुवी सुधा वायुवी सुधा व्यासाय सुधा विद्यायसाय सुधा प्रयायसाय सुधा संन्यायसाय सुधा ओम विद्यायसाय सूच्य सुधा सूचती सुधा सुखमानाय सुधा सुखाय सुधा तपसी सुधा तप्तमानाय सुधा तप्ताय सुधा धर्माय सुधा निष्कृत्य सुधा प्रयासकृत्य सुधा वेशजाय सुधा यमाय सुधा पंचकाय सुधा पृथ्वी सुधा ब्रह्मणी सुधा ब्रह्महत्याय सुधा विशुद्ध्योतिषु सुधा कपिलस्थ यावा या गव्यार शक्ति नमः गव्यार शक्ति नमः गव्यार गव्यार शक्ति है इस जगह है वो करो धर्मा धर्मा समाहितं योगं नमः समाधिं जगत्प्राण ज्ञान विज्ञान जगत विपायिता ओम धर्मा धर्मा समाहितं योगं नमः समाधिं जगत्प्राण ज्ञान विज्ञान जगत विपायिता धर्मा धर्मा समाहितं ओम धर्मा धर्मा समाहितं योगं नमः समाधिं I keep two. You recognize who I am. I just waiting for Lakshmi. Lakshmi, is the guy coming? Is the guy on the? He doesn't want to go inside or no? I see you. Someone want you to see. Mitra, Tasmay, Slaka. Mitra, Tasmay, Slaka. Then you want to do one. Mitra, Tasmay, Slaka. Gary. Maya Diyatin, Kawan Sidam. Anda kerja putra saya, yang bersih, Maya Diyatin. So you will give that for the next 26. Okay, all right, so take what you ring in your hand. You can also sit up. Yeah. Sit up.
Real heavy duty one. I know the top of the soul. Excuse me.